Namaste, Jai Bharat. I have a very senior friend who used to be professor of nuclear medicine. He was a medical doctor, whom I respect a lot. So once he was just asking me. I started this YouTube channel very recently. That just because I wanted to speak to myself, basically. Then he asked me, my very senior friend asked me, "Do you make scripts and then speak?" I said, "No, sir, I don't know. I just think aloud." He didn't say anything. He didn't say anything. He did not even imply anything. He just asked. Then recently, one of my viewers, apparently very young person, youngster, was implying, suggesting me to uh, prepare scripts. Because he wanted my scripts, it seems. He asked for a script. Uh, I just replied him that I don't have a script. I don't do a script. The point is, which I would like to say today, is that you cannot script philosophy. And that's what I feel. You cannot script philosophy. What is actually philosophy? You can't do philosophy through PowerPoint presentations or pre-scripted narratives. That way that way you can't do philosophy. And if you do something, it's not philosophy. If you go deep into what philosophy is, then it's very fundamental and also very serious. That when we discuss about, when you speak about what is the case, then it becomes narrative, mostly factual. What is the case? But when we move from what is the case to what ought to be the case, then you get into philosophy. What is the case is out there. You can make narrations about it. You can make description about it. You can make scientific studies about it. But what ought to be the case, it cannot be prescribed to your mind. It has to come to you. In the European philosophical system, they have a theory of intuitionism, but I would like to keep it as different. So when you say what ought to be the case, mostly on the basis of what is the case, then you enter into philosophy. That's what make it meta something. The term originates with Aristotle, it seems, from physics to metaphysics. It has its own narrative behind how Aristotle spoke about metaphysics. It has its own narrative behind. But meta is beyond. Beyond here should be beyond what is factual to what ought to be. That ought to be was never mentioned before. What ought to be the case, how things ought to be. That is what the philosophical insight, and that is what philosophy is. So it will be inappropriate for anyone to ask a student of philosophy to make a PowerPoint presentation. One can make a PowerPoint presentation about any theories of any philosophies, particularly the European philosophers. That's fine. People do it. People can also do it. But when in our times, when we were students of masters, MA time, the kind of training we go to is slightly different. That was a theory is taught to you. Mostly they were doing analytic philosophy in my period, my time. Hardly Indian philosophy as compared to European philosophy. Analytic, both linguistic and otherwise. So uh, things are taught. But then the odd thing which came to us from the teachers is that you present what we have taught you in the class. But when you conclude an essay, you must write the conclusion as what you think about these things which had been narrated. That will be your opinion, logically substantiated, justified, or and logically as well as rationally argued out. Take any position, either for, against, or whatever. Take any position, that doesn't matter, but how best you argue out your position becomes important. Then only you will get 60% mark. Otherwise, you will get 59. That used to be the case in when we were students. So that is shown to us as original thinking. So they always wanted every student to add his original thinking to whatever theory had been taught to us in the classrooms. And then we go to libraries and read, we understand things, we repeat, reproduce. That's what all students do all over the world. But when you conclude, give what you think. They used to insist on it, and we used to do it. So that is how we did philosophy, and that is how philosophy must be done, as I feel. So if you ask a student of philosophy to go for a PowerPoint presentation, then that goes against this kind of spirit of doing philosophy. So when someone just asked me for a script, I was taken aback because I don't have a script. I don't know what I'm going to speak. In the sense, I don't know what all details I'm going to speak. You just speak, things come, and it comes. And so there will be a lot of difficulties for a instant understanding, for an easy understanding, because it's possible for the thought stream to go here, there. Finally, it will reach a point that's all right, but then it takes deviations. It doesn't go straight. It doesn't go in a straight line. It goes in maybe turning left, turning right, going up, going down, all those things. It makes deviations and then finally reaches the destination, all right, but then it goes here and there. So someone asked me for a script, and someone thought the presentation must be more clear to him, possible. So this is what I do. So these things fall out of my frame. I don't have scripts. I have nothing written before speaking. I just get some idea, then I sit and speak. You must have seen that I've don't go for editing and any kind of coloring or subtitles or things that I don't do. Comes, speak, and that's it. It's up to those who hear to either like or dislike. So that's it. I don't think that it's possible for me to make a PowerPoint presentation on philosophy. Then it will not be philosophy. It will be narrative. It may be repetition of facts which may be needed at one point or some points, but if you go for philosophy, then it can't be factual. It has to be experiential, in the sense we should go into what ought to be the case, the situations. Bye for now. Namaste. Jai Bharat and Jai Shri Ram.